Very good morning, 6th class. Today we will cover Digi class for your history chapter 2 on the trails of the earliest people. Fine, we have already studied this chapter and today we will cover its Digi class. So let's get started.
What would your mother do if she sees that the groceries at home are over? Discuss this in your classroom.
देखो यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स आपसे पूछ रहे हैं कि अगर आपकी मदर को पता चले कि ग्रॉसरीज यानी कि घर का जो राशन है सब्जियां हैं वो ख़त्म हो गई हैं तो वो क्या करेंगी। आप बताइए क्या करेंगी वो। क्या करेंगी आपकी मदर अगर घर की ग्रॉसरीज ख़त्म हो जाएंगी तो। देखते हैं।
She would go to the market to buy supplies for all the groceries that got over. The hunter-gatherers of the Stone Age did not have any such market. They depended on the natural availability of food. Their lives were hard. If they lived in a particular place for a long time, they would finish up all the resources in that place. Thus, if the supply of their resources was used up completely, they had to move to the next place. One example of their resources was animals. Hunter-gatherers hunted wild animals such as deer. Since some of these animals fed on grass, the hunter-gatherers had to observe their movements and follow animals to the place they moved to fulfill their needs. The hunter-gatherer was also dependent on gathering wood and berries from plants for food. Further, they were also dependent on seasonal changes because plants and trees bear fruits in different seasons. Due to this, only a small portion of plants around was suitable for eating through the year. So, hunter-gatherers might have moved in search of plants that were available only in certain seasons. Also, hunter-gatherers lived in caves, so they needed water in order to survive. They might have wandered in search of water found in lakes, rivers, and streams. How were the homes of hunter-gatherers probably different from the homes we live in today? Discuss this in your classroom. Hunter-gatherers searched for shelters where they could also create tools and clothes. For this, they had to search for a good quality site where stones could be found for creating tools. Such sites were known as factory sites. If the hunter-gatherers lived in the site for a long time, the site would become what archaeologists today call a habitation cum factory site. Hunter-gatherers chose sites close to river valleys with sparse forest cover and in grassland environments. They gradually adapted to different environments such as thick forests and hilly terrain in different parts of the world. Let's look at some examples of hunter-gatherer sites found in India. Some sites are found in the Huntsgi Valley complex in Karnataka. Tools such as hand axes were found at the surface site at Huntsgi. Also, debris of different types of tools made of limestone was found here. Perhaps these were the places where hunter-gatherers lived and created stone tools. There is also evidence of caches, a hiding place for the tools ready for use. Around the Bhimbekka hill in Madhya Pradesh, the caves and rock shelters also yield evidence of hunter-gatherers. Evidence suggests that hunter-gatherers took shelter at this place to make tools. You might know that early man used stone tools and was uncivilized in the Stone Age. In all the time that we've existed on the earth, what percentage of time do you think man has lived in the Stone Age? Discuss this in your class. Man has spent 99% of all his time on earth in the Stone Age. Let's learn about the different periods of the Stone Age and how human beings evolved in each period. From about 2 million to 10,000 BC, spanning over thousands of years, was the Paleolithic period. The term Paleolithic is derived from the Greek word paleo, meaning old, and lithos, meaning stone. Thus, the Paleolithic age is a period of the Old Stone Age. In this period, the Earth was climatically unstable. There were many ice ages where some parts of the Earth froze up, making it impossible for living beings to thrive there. Thus, early human beings had to migrate according to these climatic changes. Early human beings were not evolved as they are today. To live, they scavenged and lived as hunters and food gatherers. Ostrich eggshells with engravings were found in Patna, India. These decorated eggshells are 31,000 years old. The evidence suggests that human beings were involved in artistic activities during the Paleolithic period. The late Paleolithic period is called the Mesolithic period. Meso means middle and lithos means stone. Thus, the Mesolithic period is the Middle Stone Age. The Ice Ages of the Paleolithic period had ended, and Earth started warming up. The ice melted and sea levels rose. The warm conditions were favorable for plant life. As plants grew, the animals that ate plants also flourished. By the Mesolithic period, man was still nomadic, but hunting had evolved into a more sophisticated activity. Archaeologists have found evidence of microliths, which are tiny, sharp, and shaped stones. Man could have used these with weapons such as arrows and spears for hunting in the Mesolithic period. The Mesolithic period was followed by the Neolithic period. Can you guess what Neo and Lithic mean? In Greek, Neo means new and lithos means stone. Thus, the Neolithic period refers to the new Stone Age. The Neolithic period is significant because it marks the first time that man stopped wandering in search of food. The previously nomadic man now watched the food patterns of animals and instead of hunting, started herding animals. Fishing also became an important activity. Instead of looking for plants to gather, man started growing his own seeds. Wheat, rice, and barley were among the first crops to ever be cultivated. Thus, prehistoric man evolved into modern man over the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic periods. Have you ever tried chopping vegetables and fruits? Cutting and chopping is easy because we use a sharp knife. But have you ever wondered how human beings cut and chopped before they had discovered metal or had the technology to create a knife? There are no written records of how human beings lived several thousands of years ago. However, we do have evidence of stone tools made of quartzite or hard rock, created and left behind by man in the Old Stone Age. Hunter-gatherers shaped and made tools of stone, wood, and bone. Of these, stone tools have prevailed for the longest time. What do you think hunter-gatherers would have used the stone tools for? Discuss this in your classroom. Although they had a crude and primitive design, stone tools were used as axes to remove the bark from trees. They created tools such as bows and arrows to hunt down animals. Stone tools were also created to cut through animal skin and meat, to stitch clothes made of animal skin, and to dig the ground to collect roots. Let's see the techniques to create stone tools that were used for various purposes. Hunter-gatherers probably used two basic techniques to create stone tools. These are stone on stone and pressure flaking. In the stone on stone technique, the core, which is stone from which the tool is to be made, is taken in one hand, and a hammerstone is taken in another hand. The hammerstone is hit on the stone from which the tool is to be made to strike off flakes. The core is hammered, breaking off short and deep flakes until the required shape is obtained. For example, this axe. The stone-on-stone technique evolved into a more sophisticated technique called pressure flaking. In this technique, the core is kept on a firm surface. Then, the hammerstone was used to carefully remove the flakes. The hammerstone chipped away flakes until the desired shape was obtained. For example, this arrowhead.
Can you guess how fire was first discovered? Hunter-gatherers accidentally discovered fire because of rubbing stones together.
Flint stones, when rubbed together, produced fire. Fire was used to scare away wild animals and was used as a source of heat. Thus, stone tools were used and made in creative ways by prehistoric man.